live?
Yep.
All right.
Get into it.
Let's get it. Rap shit. Here we go. Phantom of the Opera. All black. Guap tint. Locked in. I can let them shots out. You can't get no shots in. Bulletproof. Leave an N-word with a bullet roof. Shoot you in your mouth. Leroy. They call him Bullet Tooth. I'm like, what it do? What it do? There's a full court pressure. I'm just going for the 2. If I'm open for the 3, I'm going to take it in a second. Even if there's 1 second, I'm going to make it. It's nothing.
No.
No?
I've got nothing for that.
Oh, I thought you said what? I don't take it for granted. I don't take it for nothing. I take it for what it's worth. To the dirt. MFer, yeah. Baby, you gotta know that I'm just out here doing what I gotta do for me and you.
Nope.
Nothing?
Not even a clue.
Okay.
No.
Artist, nothing?
No.
Lil Wayne, Hustler Music.
Okay.
Phantom of the Opera. All black, guap tint, locked in. I can let them shots out. You can't get no shots in. No, you don't know that verse?
No, I don't.
You don't know that verse?
I really.
I mean, the first verse, everyone knows the first verse. That's why I didn't choose the first verse. That's Wheezy F, baby, and please say the mother. Well, that's the chorus.
Yeah, that's the chorus.
I couldn't say the chorus because that's too easy.
What's the first verse?
The first verse, that's the hustler music. Young Wheezy got that mother effing hustler music. Ride to it, y'all. Vibe to it, y'all. Goddamn. Mix done hit a nigga in the head with this one. I'ma paint the city red with this one. I'm ahead with this one. See you fucking with the boy who told toys way before Christmas. No assistance, just that persistence with the commitment.
I probably still wouldn't have got it.
Hustler music, really?
No, with Hustler music, I really only know the chorus of Hustler music.
Okay.
Like I don't know any of the verses.
That may be.
I'll be quiet.
That's fair. I thought that you don't get. You can't get no shots in. I can get some shots. Or that line is like everyone knows that. I felt like that was a popular line. That's why. But okay, fair enough.
Let me see. I'm trying to think of like.
I'd play it, but
when you started, maybe I kind of thought that it was Lil Wayne just because of like the cadence and the ways that he puts his bars together. Like, but as you continue to read, I was just like, I don't know what this is.
Okay, what about this? You know me, they call me Birdman Jr. Anybody murders if Birdman sponsor it. Phantom of the Opera. All black, guap tent, locked in. I can't let those shots out. You can't get no shots in. Right?
Probably. I mean, when you say the Birdman Jr., I would have automatically known that it was Lil Wayne, right?
It's the kid. Okay.
Yeah, I just feel like
I didn't think it was gonna be that hard.
No, I feel like Hustle Music is a very popular Lil Wayne song, obviously, but it's just not one that like
hit you. That's fine.
Yeah, there's a lot of other ones, like a lot of other Lil Wayne songs that I would know it off of the first 3 words, but Hustle Music just wasn't it for me. And I know people are going like, oh my God, then you're not a Lil Wayne fan. Relax, he literally
you play the game then.
He literally has a catalog of 1.5 million songs. So
that's just Mystic songs.
So shoot me. Say in the comments if you knew what that was, because that left me stumped. But yeah, good one, babe. If we start counting, like I definitely think you're in the lead of like stumping me.
Maybe like 1 or 2,
maybe like 3 at this point. But yeah, very good. Okay, why'd you pick that one?
Well, we're about to get into like Super Bowl stuff, and I know Wayne has an album coming out, Carter 6.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, he had a commercial during the Super Bowl.
Did he really?
It was just to announce his album.
Okay.
And I just off of like
I missed that, child.
I don't think we saw the commercials that everyone else saw via the platform we were watching it.
Okay.
Because we weren't watching it on Tubi. I have no idea. But
there was only really one commercial that stood out to me this year for the Super Bowl. And it was the Nike commercial.
Oh.
Where it was talking about like, you're a girl, so you can't do this, so do it,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
It was fire. It was a very cool commercial.
Fire.
But yeah, okay, good selection. I mean, I ain't mad at you. You know what I'm saying? You got me. Okay, it's called rap shit. Do you really know, or do you really know? All right, and I did not. So kudos to you. All right, people. Well, what's up? We back at it. All right.
On?
Hello. How are you? I see y'all over there in the back. How y'all doing? Okay, y'all feeling all right? Listen, if you do not know what this is, well, let me be the one to inform you and welcome you to the One Thing for Certain podcast, okay? Where myself, Alia King, and my husband, when he's paying attention.
Oh, I'm sorry. Carrot King. I was trying to make sure I had my game ready.
Okay. We talk about all the things that married couples like to talk about, okay? And in case you are not entirely familiar about what married people like to talk about, it is usually a hodgepodge, okay? A gumbo, if you will. A culmination. Yes, a culmination of things that we just feel like talking about. It's the things that interest us, okay? We're a good time, at least we like to think so. And so if you're into that, if that's your stilo, make sure that you comment, like, and subscribe. Go ahead and come to us. And follow us on all the things on the TikTok, obviously here on YouTube, okay, on Instagram. And also you can listen on Spotify if you are not already listening.
And the episodes have been up the last 2. So, you know what I'm saying? Shout out on time, you know what I'm saying? The last 2. I ain't going to, go too far with it. But
that's hilarious.
Shout out to the Spotify listeners, all 2 of you.
All 1 and 2 of y'all. We appreciate you, okay? So listen, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into our current obsession, okay? And I'm going to let you go ahead and get started.
Cool. So it is still Black History Month.
Yes, it is.
I'm at the place of my employment. I am a part of a Black employee group. And for this month, we're doing a lot of different events. One of the events that we're doing is kind of a 2-part series where we started like a book club, a one-off book club, and the book that we chose had to do with military and Black people's history in the military. And so the book is called Sister in Arms by Kaya Alderson. I'll put the book here. And it's about women who were joining the military for the first Black women who were joining the military for the first time during World War II, a part of the Women's Army Corps, or WAC is what it was called. So they kind of walk through the process of the first set of women to go through training camp and some of the challenges that they have been through. It follows 2 women specifically who are the main characters, Grace and Eliza, and they're both from New York, both from Harlem, but they come from very different lives, and how they land in the military and kind of how they walk through that time. When if you think about it, it's World War II, so it's the 40s. It's the 40s, and it's wartime. So
right.
For women at that time, there wasn't already a lot of like things that they could do as far as careers. And so, it kind of walks through that, the heavy racism and just all of the hard stuff that they had to go through as Black women joining the military, paving the way. Fun fact, I figured this out when I was reading the book. It's basically a prelude to the 688, which is on Netflix. That stars Kerry Washington. Great movie. But the first set of women to go through the Women's Army Corps, the Black Women's Army Corps, Chastity Adams, who leads the 6888, is a part of that group.
Wow.
And so you see Chastity come in as a as a recruit. Then she goes to an officer. But she's not a main character, which is crazy.
That's insane.
She's not a main character. So
and in the 688, like when we fast forward, she's a captain.
she's yep.
That's intense.
Yeah. So
wow.
yeah, it's cool. It's a really good read. I'm listening to it on Audible. Shout out to Audible.
Shout out.
And yeah, that's it. It's fantastic. I love it. I love history. I love understanding where Black people have been and how things have changed and progressed and how things may there are still gaps there in progress. So you got to know where you came from to know where you're going. So I'm like enamored with Black history, specifically Black American history. So it's cool.
That's fire. Just to piggyback off of that, like I know we haven't talked about it on this podcast yet, but the actual movie, The 688 on Netflix, is a Tyler Perry and Netflix like collaboration.
Incredible.
Obviously it was produced and written by Tyler Perry. Like you said, starring Kerry Washington. He was in his BAG.
Some people say it's his best movie.
I think it is.
Yeah, that says a lot too.
I think it is. I was so incredibly impressed
it's really good
by that movie. Like, for one, the storyline is absolutely phenomenal. We love history. We're big history buffs. We, love anything about, anything, especially World War II and Civil War movies. Like, we are like fully leaned in on that front. But everyone came to act their tail off. Okay. Furthermore, like the cinematography was stunning.
Really
they shot these women so beautifully. It looked like you literally stepped into like a photograph from that time. The tint
they chose was perfect.
The preset and like the filter that they used for it was absolutely beautiful. Incredible story of, will, tenacity, brilliance, persistence, resilience.
Courage, man.
Yes, all of the things that Black women are all day, every day, 24/7, 365. Okay. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. So yeah, but my current obsession actually is a more personal one. We are in the process of moving. That's the confetti, if you guys didn't know. So just a fair warning, when the next time we come to see you guys, the set is going to look a little different because we will literally be in a whole new space, okay? So that's pretty exciting. Also incredibly daunting and overwhelming and exhausting and tiring for anybody who was wondering just how it's going. For one, before I become super pessimistic and, stuff like that, I will say that as far as how we planned the move to go, it is going according to plan. I will say that the move is going according to plan.
Today was a big day.
Today was a very big day, a very critical day. The rest of today is going to be critical and tomorrow as well. But yeah, we're almost done. We're in the process of getting into our new space, which is pretty exciting. Really huge moment for the both of us, like really pivotal. Big boy and gal decisions and things happening on this side. So we're really excited. We feel incredibly blessed. Maybe one day we'll share the story about how it all like came about, because it really is a dope story.
It's pretty cool.
I literally look back at the process, like from the time that we, decided that we were like, oh, I think we need to move into a new space, to now. And I still can't
That's its
believe
own story.
It really is.
And then the crib itself is its own story.
100%. So that is pretty dope. And, we'll share that with you guys later once we get settled into the space. But as far as the actual process of moving,
it's insane.
0 out of 10.
And I can tell,
would never recommend.
And just, I think we are better off than most people, and it still sucks. And the reason why I think that we're better off is because we do not, I don't think we hoard things.
Yes, we are not a hoarder of things.
But yet and still,
what the fuck?
we still have things.
We have been in our current space for 9 years. This June would have made 10 years that we would have been in this space. And it's been fantastic. Like, it has served us well. We are incredibly blessed to have even called this place home for such a long time. However, the life of accumulation is real. And I am someone who relishes the opportunity to purge. I love throwing old shit away. I love getting rid of it. I love selling it. I like just clearing things out. You know, during this moving process, I can say we've probably thrown out like a fifth of the things that we own. Like, truly, like, from every aspect, like from the closets to the kitchen to the cabinets to every place
including
that
like
holds
the purge you did with clothes and stuff.
everything. I'd say we like a fifth of our
20%.
Of our like we really did try to get as much of it out. And Lord have mercy, we are still.
It's just stuff, man.
It's just a lot of things.
It's just stuff.
It's just a lot of things.
I tell you, it's not to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
You know, if you take that fifth and like split it up a little bit, we're gonna do something we normally never do. But Eden's clothes, that because he's growing out of his stuff, and so we want to talk about purge.
We did purge.
Boy,
we had a lot of things.
Yeah, we had stuff that was 3 months, 6 months in size, and he's a year and a half.
I think the biggest feat of this moving process has been going through like our storage closet.
Yeah,
that was to me the heaviest lift. Like, for some people, when moving, it's like, oh my gosh, moving the stuff out of the kitchen is just going to take forever.
That was a big one.
It was a big one.
It's still happening.
Not necessarily. The things that are left, while they may be placed in the kitchen, they are not items that belong to the kitchen necessarily.
Fair enough.
But anyway, we digress.
Yeah, sorry.
So it has been a long process. The last time I moved like a significant amount of items, like when I first moved into this space, I did not have anything. Like, quite literally, I just had the clothes like from the room that I grew up in, right? And then so it was just me in a suitcase. Like, there was no furniture. So I literally started my accumulation of like life acquired and required things when I moved into this space. But it's been wild. I am looking forward to it being done.
It's the packing, the transporting, and then the unpacking.
And then it's going to be the unpacking period, which is going to take months.
It's going to take a long time.
It's going to take a long time, not because of like the things that we own or like how much things we possess, but really, like, once you're in a space, you then have to figure out how you are going to like occupy it. Like, the things that you have that fit perfectly into your last space may not necessarily fit into this new space, and like figuring out how much. There's probably going to be another level of purging, like, because we'll look around and be like, well, there's literally no place for this anymore. So anyway, it's just a lot. Grateful, incredibly grateful. Also wish I had a fairy godparent right about now to just be like
Genie or something. Whitney Houston and Cinderella, something, bro.
A wandissimo, at least.
A wand.
Yeah, a bippity boppity boop.
Something.
Oh, yeah. A Hermione.
Where are you?
Come on. A Hermione would be lit right now because she'd have us just settled. But yeah, man, it is a process. All right, babe. So we're going to jump into Are We in Like or Love? And listen, at the time of this podcast, you guys, at the time that this will air, you guys will have, been already seen, processed, and looked at, the Super Bowl. The Eagles won. Congrats to them.
Shout out to the Eagles, man.
Shout out to the Eagles. It is, Valentine's Day has passed. We hope that you enjoyed your Valentine's Day. Okay, all of the things. So But I know you've probably ingested tons and tons of content about this already. But like I said, we talk about the things that we want to talk about, okay? And we gonna talk about this motherfucking Super Bowl halftime performance. Yes, we are. We are. If
We're
you
adding
want
to the zeitgeist of so many people who've talked about this already, which is
okay.
fine. I don't
It's
care.
fine. It's 100% fine.
It's still going.
It's still going, and we are going to continue the fodder. Okay. So as you will, if you want to listen to it, please. If you don't, fast forward.
We'll keep it. I mean, we're gonna keep it simple. We're gonna do top 3, right? Try to stick to it.
I'm happy to do that. So I have 3 main things that I want to focus on when it comes to the Super Bowl Kendrick Lamar halftime performance. Okay, there are 3 top things that I want to talk about, and there are 3 things you want to talk about. I am going to specifically talk about, the aesthetic,
Fire,
the concept,
fire,
and the execution,
super fire,
of this performance. Okay. First and foremost, and what are the 3 things you wanted to talk about, babe?
You're gonna go first, but my 3 things will be my favorite things. So
Okay.
The first is the opening record, which people have dubbed it to be called Bodies, even though it's unreleased. The second thing is Kendrick's chain that he had on. And the third thing is Uncle Sam.
Come on.
And the Great American Game.
Let's get into it. Okay, so we have some overlap in that. So let's talk about aesthetic first, right? You talked about Kendrick Lamar's chain. For me, aesthetic.
Oh, and his hat too, because I found out about his hat. So.
Oh, did you? Okay. So I'm going to talk about the things that I enjoyed aesthetically about the performance holistically. For one, let's talk about Kendrick himself. Okay, he had on basically a leather, like Letterman style jacket.
It's giving Letterman,
slash biker because it was all leather. Right. So that jacket that had a PG laying on the back and Gloria across the front.
Beautiful.
Absolutely stunning. The shoes, which you looked up.
Oh God, those are Nike Deion Sanders shoes.
I think so. And the jeans were Celine
jeans. Yep.
The black glove. Flare jeans with the ring, the freaking hat with the brooch.
The brooch here, and there was one on the back.
Sick. Fire. And then by far the most beautiful collection of chains I have ever seen anyone adorn. Ever. I
gotta put Pharrell up there too. He's always had a classic chain to me. But yes
obsessed. And last but not least, so that's Kendrick, right? That whole aesthetic I thought was flawless. I just thought it looked absolutely freaking phenomenal. The jacket was sick. And then you saw in a after clip that the shirt he had on was a plain black shirt.
Yep.
Fine. But on the back, it said, "Keep them away from me," which is a line from his GNX album.
Man in the Garden.
Yeah, Man in the Garden.
Keep these niggas away from me.
Correct.
Don't play with me. I'll burn it.
Correct. More blood spilling. It's just paint to me. So that was absolutely fantastic. Also, the aesthetic of all of the dancers that were on the field. So obviously, and we'll get into this during the concept segment of our analysis, but the red, white, and blue, very simple, but the dye-a-lot, the actual color that they use for the red, white, and blue, not the typical red, white, and blue of the American flag. They were a bit more
subdued.
They were a bit more saturated and darkened. Right. So the red was more like a crimson. The blue was more of like a sapphire navy. Right. And the white was like the crispest white I've ever seen. To get every single piece of clothing to be the exact same color
every
single time is very difficult. Okay. Furthermore, I thought that the execution of the female choreographer's hair and being like an ombre, like bob wig or whatever that matched their specific attire, whether there were reds, whites, or blue, right? The dancers. I thought that was fantastic. And then when you zoomed out, to me, they looked like Sims, right? Like they literally looked like like characters, the ones that aren't main characters,
Oh gosh.
MPGs.
Yeah, one of those. What do the kids call those things?
I don't know,
Yeah.
but they're
Y'all know what we
the,
saying.
the ones that be filler in the video game. That's
Non-playable characters, NPCs.
NPCs. Okay. So I thought that was fantastic, right? The overall aesthetic was amazing. I thought the set design looked phenomenal. I thought that the simplicity of like the actual game play on the field was fantastic. So that was me for aesthetics. You want to talk about like the chains specifically and stuff?
Yeah. So sticking on aesthetics, the chains to start with, beautiful. Allegedly, this is who knows. I don't know. He got the chains from Eliante. That's not alleged. It's a jeweler somewhere in the country. But Eliante has always been a classic like hip hop jeweler, and the attention to detail for the A.
The lowercase a.
The lowercase a, which was a representation of, if you look at the PG Lang symbol or the sign, it's that A.
And in the PG Lang logo, isn't the A skewed? Yeah. So like the fact that it was sitting,
it's almost like a balloon. It's like a kid that's like reaching for it or holding it or something. Like it's a balloon or something in the logo. Very dope. Exact.
And the fact that it was hanging at like that is
it's fantastic. Perfect. The detail of the layers of the chains, where it had the A and then the PG Lang in this red, almost burgundy kind of jeweled.
It was probably rubies,
like a ruby,
or some type of garnet or something like that. Just a stunning,
beautiful. And then the chains that were just a part of it as well. So it feels like it was just all one chain, but it looked like he had on like 3 chains.
Yeah, I think in total it was like 4 chains, right? And so like the links in some of the smaller chains that like kind of acted not chokers, but like a little bit longer, like maybe 18. What is it, inches?
Yeah, maybe
18, 20. And then the last one was probably like a 24. That the A was on. Just absolutely stunning.
Fantastic. And yes, it is the symbol of PG Lang for sure. But also it is just, I don't know, divine symbolism that it was an A minor.
Right. It was a lowercase a, like a minor A.
It's a minor
right?
A.
So,
I mean, if you want to take it for that too, kind of hard not to.
Yeah.
But so his hat, also very expensive. He had it to the back, and there was like a brooch type of situation here, the angel wings. Really good. Again, custom. Tens of thousands of dollars for that. And then on the back of his hat, which most people didn't see, obviously, because he was wearing it to the back, but in the front of the hat, he had like a crown jewel type thing going.
He also
beautiful.
Had a ring on the glove hand that he was holding his microphone with. Yeah.
So aesthetically, like I always feel I'm starting to notice, whether it's the Jesus crown that he had during the Mr. Morale era, or even the chains that he would wear for like the Damn era, where it wasn't jewels or anything like that, but he would have on jewelry in his performances, and it wasn't diamonds necessarily. The chain that he had on for the pop-out show,
the Jesus piece was
Jesus piece when
insane.
He won 15 Grammys. I'm kidding, but when he won 5 Grammys. Kendrick Lamar does jewelry with the best of them.
Yeah,
like
he really does.
I don't know, rappers have on jewelry all the time. It's always a talk, whether you want to talk about Lil Baby, you want to talk about Gunna, you want to talk about Future, the Migos.
Yeah, all the Migos.
The chains is crazy. I remember when Offset or Takeoff, rest in peace, had bought one of them. I don't know if it was Offset he bought it for or if it was Quavo, but he bought a literal, like, their faces on 3, kind of like a 3D type of thing, where you have all of their faces there. Offset had a chain where it was like a safe, a house situation. So rappers do chains all the time, but it doesn't necessarily get all this type of attention.
Yeah.
And the level of detail that people are looking into it, I just think it's just another reminder that, like, Kendrick is also a rapper. Like, really. Like he is really a rapper. Like he talks about all this other stuff, but he will put on jewelry.
He'll put it on.
And when he put it on, it's different.
It is different.
So I just
yeah,
I think
that was
it's dope.
absolutely fire. So execution. So excuse me, aesthetic A+ for me. Okay. 2, let's talk about the concept. Okay.
Yep.
We have said it time and time again on this show, and you guys are probably tired of hearing it, but we're not tired of saying it. So guess what? You're gonna hear it again. Okay. When it comes to concepts, there is no one who does it better than Kendrick Lamar.
Rap-wise, I don't know any rapper better than
he
it.
thinks about how he is going to tell a story, he is going to take you through an entire, like, it's basically like an essay. He has a thesis. Okay,
dissertation.
It truly is a dissertation about what it is he's going to show with you. He is incredibly thematic with his visuals, with his concepts, and with his overall, like, his thought process around his performances. Right, to me, this Super Bowl halftime performance felt like a Broadway show. Like, it was one stage with several different scenes. Okay, and we'll talk about the scenes when we get into the execution, but like that whole thing I thought was just incredible.
Fantastic. Shout out to, speaking of concepts, it starts the Great American Game. You see the square, the triangle, the X, the O for the gamers out there. Shout out to P5. Shout out to Sony. He could have did X, Y, A, B, and that would have been for PCs or Xbox. But nah, man, P5.
He might as well have just put the PlayStation symbol right there in the center.
I thought it was great, and the floor was also gray, so it kind of just, I don't know, it kind of played up to PlayStation
from the apps from the beginning, right? So first, like in most games, you have like your narrator of the game, and that's when Samuel L. Jackson came out as Uncle Sam. Absolutely brilliant. And even the loading of the LED lights in the audience, right, where it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and all the way loading up to 100, and then the game started, and the entire like console basically lights up, and then you're introduced to your narrator, which is Uncle Sam, and the concept is a Great American Game. Now, mind you, this is my interpretation of it. We've been seeing a lot of people throwing their hats in and their guesses as far as like what he meant by certain things throughout. Me, myself, when this whole thing started, right, Drake and J. Cole came out with First Person Shooter, and if you guys remember, the scene was them essentially playing like this huge tennis match, right, on a Super Bowl field.
They were playing several games.
They were playing several different games,
they did
right?
Chess, they did,
so to me, it's not. I don't think I didn't miss the correlation between the concept that they created and then the concept that Kendrick created, but to me, he executed better, right? Because not only is it not a big three, nigga, it's just Big Me at the Super Bowl performing a game, right? First person shooter. You have to remember, like, this is a first person game. This is a Great American Game. As Kendrick Lamar as the main character, okay, and even when it's done, it says game over. Even during the half point of his performance, it said wrong way. Like, it's all of this narration about him actually being inside of this game, and that concept, I think, being executed far more thoughtfully and better than first person shooter. So like that whole play off of that concept, I think, was done so well. It was just one more like mush in the forehead of the two of them. It's just like,
yeah, I mean, him being at the Super Bowl is a mush in the forehead, because how in the hell
they basically
did y'all make a
manifested
song talking about y'all are big as the Super Bowl, and then Kendrick ends up on the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
How does that happen to
I
y'all?
feel like they accidentally,
the beef aside, how did that happen to y'all?
I think they accidentally conjured Kendrick Lamar's greatness. I think they did it on accident. Like, so you remember how in The Mummy,
unbelievable.
You remember how in The Mummy, how the excavators who were looking for, hidden treasure and things like that in Egypt, how they came across the Book of the Dead and they started reading it, and the Egypts, like all of the Arabic people who were helping them in the excavation, they fled because they knew what was happening. And the fool is reading the incantation that's basically going to resurrect. What's his name?
Shoot, I forget his name. It's not Anas on the Moon.
No, that's the girl.
That's his shoulder.
Oh my goodness, it's on the tip of my tongue.
Let's look it up. Look it up.
Emotep.
Ah.
Emotep, yeah. So they're basically reading off the incantation that's going to resurrect Emotep. I think that's what Drake and Cole did on accident.
Just on accident, huh?
Just on accident, right? Like they manifested all of this, right? So I thought the concept was incredible. I thought Samuel L. Jackson as Uncle Sam was fantastic. I thought the intentionality of literally every single last one of the dancers being black was fucking incredible. I think the concept of the American flag being primarily and exclusively made up of black men, right?
And it's the game of America, the great American game.
The great American game.
How do you navigate
navigating, life, in America as a black man, in different scenes, in different parts of your life, I thought was absolutely stunning. I thought it was so clean. I thought it was so minimalistic and simplistic that I feel like you couldn't miss it. You know what I mean? But it still went over a lot of people's heads.
And some people just didn't like it, which, art is subjective.
It is.
But I think the point of all of this, we're a week out from it happening. And so, especially when this podcast launches, it'll literally be in like a week and a day or something like that.
Yeah.
And people are still talking about it as if it happened yesterday. And I think when you talk about art on a high level like that, that's kind of the point.
Exactly.
It's kind of the point.
Everything about what Kendrick does is it's expansive. It's like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen what's that artist who literally makes everything out of dots? I'm going to put something here when I remember what it is, but basically it's like Kendrick's performances, Kendrick's music, Kendrick, like how he creates concepts again with all of his albums. They're like chapter books in the story of his life and his growth and progression as an artist. It's like zooming into a portrait. Oh yeah. And then zoom, you know those pictures where it's like it's super detailed and then you zoom out and it's even more detailed and then you zoom out and you realize it's a completely different picture.
It just keeps going.
That's what Kendrick's everything is. That's what his music is. That's what his visuals are. And he was able to give us that in 13 minutes on a stage on one floor. Like that is so incredibly hard.
Something to acknowledge too. 7.5 minutes to put it together. This is every Super Bowl, right? 7.5 minutes to get it all on stage and set up at go time. When you're finished, you have 6 minutes to get it off. Very good for a small company, PG Lang. Very good showcasing. I think that's the other thing that's dope is that he said it in the interview they did for halftime with Apple Music with Ebro and I'm forgetting the young lady's name. But it's they stepped up to the challenge because that was all him. Like that wasn't. I mean, they had the budget from the NFL and stuff like that. They don't get paid to perform,
right?
But the investment and what happened, and as a production company,
very high.
Kudos, man.
Very high. I think they did a fantastic job. Is there anything else you wanted to touch on the concept? I know you really liked the Samuel L. Jackson as Uncle Sam.
Yeah, Samuel L. Jackson as Uncle Sam narrating the game of America. And basically the things that he was saying is just like, you have to be more calm. You have to choose out of your catalog the things that make people... So ironic because Drake, again, he is that. There is no song that he couldn't perform because it's all mainstream stuff that people enjoy.
Correct.
Kendrick is not like that. And so that dichotomy of just like him performing some stuff and Sam being like, "Oh, you done lost your damn mind." It's Samuel Jackson, guys.
Yes.
It's incredible.
It's so brilliant.
It's great.
I absolutely love that. Once again, everyone was black during Black History Month. Blackity black, 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 black. One more thing on the concept. Like I said, because it felt like a Broadway performance because he had several different scenes that he was creating. He had the opening scene where he had the GNX, which
It was like acts.
which was
Act 1, Act 2, Act 3.
exactly, which was basically a copy paste of the GNX trailer video, right? It's him sitting on the car, the spotlight on him, and him rapping that same you know song that people are now dubbing Bodies, right? It's that scene. It's the American flag scene.
Yep.
It's the scene where he is performing "Man in the Garden" underneath the flag, the light post,
light post,
in which he's basically like
shout out to the Bay,
in a street kind of quartet with a bunch of dudes
hood
on
niggas.
the hood niggas just sitting there underneath the street light, and Samuel L. Jackson like, oh, you got all your homies in the whole thing, like
the old what is it, the old homeboy cheat code.
I see what you're doing now. Like, that was fantastic. Him being inside one of the X's and doing the peekaboo, literally like popping out, like all of that was so amazing. I just loved all of that. So last but not least, we will talk about execution, and this by far to me it ranks the highest of all of the things that I've already loved. Like, obviously concept brilliant, aesthetic very nice, simple, clean, to the point. But the execution, like you said, PG Lang is a small company.
Man.
The way that they shot this performance was impeccable. Really everything was symmetrical.
Yeah.
Everything was symmetrical. The scenes, the way they panned around, the pyrotechnics, the explosions, the transitions.
The pyrotechnics when he I don't remember the song, but he said it was
the end of Euphoria. It was the end of him rapping Euphoria.
It's KDOT.
Nigga, bang! And like everything.
It sounded like Mario a little bit.
Yes, it was perfect. And then the explosion goes off. And even when, like I said, when he was inside the X and like all of the white characters, right? All of the dancers that were in white were in each scene, and the way they're shooting it, by the time Kendrick gets back around, he looks like he's been walking through each of these scenes. And then when peekaboo happens, he literally pops up into the scene. Peekaboo,
it's crazy.
Perfect execution, right? Again, the choreography.
Fantastic.
I think there are some people who may have criticized it because they thought it was like too simplistic. I actually think if I were to spitball how many dancers were actually on the field, I'd probably say there were somewhere in like 250, maybe 300 dancers on the field. To get that many people to be in perfect synchronicity is incredibly difficult. The more simplistic you make the choreography, the higher the execution has to be. The scene where he was performing Humble and they were doing the dun 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 and it was rippling down the stairs.
Yes.
Sick. Like,
the American flag scene where he's in the middle and
it's literally divided.
America divided. The choreography there, even he's performing Humble, AM to the PM to the AM funk,
and then they come back all the way over.
Like, that's
so good.
I don't know. If you're not with it,
if you're not with it, you're not with it. Then it's just not for you. It went over your head. Whatever. Cool. But I don't understand how people can say that it was mid. The performance was boring. Like, I just thought it was done so well in those three aspects. Again, aesthetics, concept, and execution was on one. So much so that even when DJ Mustard came into the scene, he was perfectly aligned behind Kendrick so that when he stepped to the left, during the Mustard, he popped up. And then even when he left right behind Kendrick, so you couldn't see when he actually departed. It's like this. It's like the way that they recorded it. Like I said, it felt like a Broadway production. When people transition on and off that singular stage during a Broadway performance, it has to be seamless. Yeah. You can't know when people are transitioning on and off because it messes with the story of the mind that they're creating for you, right? They're trying to make it as immersive as possible, and that's how they filmed it. And so I just thought that layer was done so right, so much so that even when SZA did her performance, I know some people were criticizing her because she lip synced in the performance.
Fair enough, girl. If you don't want to risk it, don't risk it.
If you don't want to risk it, don't risk it. We have seen even the most like trained a voice's crack. Y'all remember when Alicia Keys got out there during Usher's Super Bowl performance
Hilarious.
and her voice cracked 3-4 times?
Listen, everybody can't be Beyonce because that mic be on.
That mic be
And
on.
we're gonna end with that one, talking about the mic being on.
Okay.
Because
seriously,
I have a question to ask.
So it was, it was obviously pre-recorded in the stadium because you can hear the acoustics, right? However, she was just not performing live at that moment. And I think that they understood that they basically have one time to do this, right? And I think that's what separates the goods from the greats, right? SZA is still very young in her career, and to me, she is not the strongest vocalist. And so if you can have people like Adele, who has an incredible voice, but I have heard her voice falter. Like during one of the Grammy performances that she did when she was sing just like a movie, it's just like when we were young. She performed when we were young at one of the Grammys, and her voice cracked a couple of times, and she even said, like, in an interview afterwards, she was like, she cried the rest of the night, like, because she knew it.
She didn't stick the landing.
She didn't stick the landing. It is really hard.
Singing is like gymnastics. We'll get into that maybe another
Is like
thing.
gymnastics.
It is
and
literally the same thing.
She was moving around a lot, and to make sure that your voice stays consistent throughout all that movement is really important.
Yeah.
And so it was so important for them to stick the landing on this that they didn't want to risk it. And hats off, because I think everybody came there to perform. Even Serena Williams, when she came out with Sea-Walk, okay?
Sea-Walk, man.
She killed it. Everybody killed it. I thought it was a flawless performance. Truly, I didn't see anybody stumble. I didn't see anybody trip. Even the dudes who were sitting on the street lamp poles didn't fall off. You know what I'm saying?
That one dude that was sitting on the top of the light pole, which some people
mind you, they're
means
strapped
something.
in. Rolo, please calm down, buddy. Just sit down. Sorry, y'all.
Yeah, apparently that meant something too. That's the other thing. Again, it grows as it.
Like I said, you zoom in, you zoom out, you see something different every time.
You see something different.
It's like a fine wine. You just keep sipping it, and there's different notes and things like that. I thought it was phenomenal. So
to put a button, are we putting a button on this?
Yes.
Okay, to put a button on this, I have a question. Listen, Kendrick Lamar, the first rapper to do the Super Bowl.
Wow.
Right? By himself.
Wow.
He's done it before. He did it one time with Dre and them.
He was a featured artist.
I need to know, because, and I hope this is maybe, not necessarily like true, because I would think that our out of our 50 years of hip hop, it isn't just one rapper that can do this, but the mic was on.
Yes, it was.
Okay, he was rapping all of his
every
lyrics,
single word,
and tailoring it towards his breath control. He is doing versions of choreography, the timing that he has, and never running out of breath, like, and just the way that they have the choreography kind of just around him naturally, just moving around naturally.
Yes,
it was great. I don't know if there's another rapper, just rapper, not Beyonce or like Sierra or whoever, because some of the best performers that we have. Sierra's incredible at performing, but she's not a rapper. I'm talking about these niggas.
She's not even really a
Chris
singer,
Brown is an R&B artist
like
who also can happen to rap, because he can do every freaking thing when it comes down to the arts. I don't know what Chris Brown can't do, but you can't put Chris down in this category because he's not a rapper. Kendrick is a rapper. If you've been to a rapper's show, even Travis Scott has high energy.
Yeah.
He has concepts. This nigga had a roller coaster during Astroworld. I saw it. I was there. He had a roller coaster. It was incredible.
Yeah.
But to rap like that, I don't and have a performance like that. I don't know another rapper that's done that.
I don't know one. Not with the level of breath control and not just breath control, stamina as well.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you something. The very first song he performed when he was on top of the hood of the GNX car, he was rapping his entire song in a squat.
Yeah.
He was squatting the whole time as he was rapping. By the time he jumped off the hood of the car, my legs would have fallen off Okay. And then he proceeded, like when he was rapping Euphoria, he's making long strides down the football field.
Which he
when
has
they
to make on time. He had to
He
get
has
from
to
point
get-
A to point B on time. So he, I, I'm just curious. I'm not saying that he's the only one. And oh my God, I'm just
of the entire field, he probably used like 40 yards,
yeah,
like of the
that's a
field.
decent, yeah.
Like it was so good.
I just point him out to me. I want to know another. I can't think past Travis Scott. Travis Scott is the only other person that I know can do in terms of like hype and still in stamina.
Yeah.
And be a rock star and jump and have and do all the stuff.
Not only that, Kendrick jumped from like hype song to slow song to hype song to slow song. He paced it very well.
The mic is on.
To go from rapping a song like Bodies, right, into rapping Humble, which is slower, okay,
Yes.
to then going into Euphoria, which is fast again, to then rapping Man in the Garden, which is slow again.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? To be able to control your breath in order to go between the two of those.
And I ask y'all, like,
Then he goes into Luther.
Right. Did y'all feel? I didn't hear any
Like gasping
or
no
any of that.
panting. Like
Yeah, the only time I might have heard like a gasp is when he said, "I'm on him tough." Like I could kind of tell, like,
yeah, because he was getting towards the end of his performance. I was like, dear God, just don't faint. Like, just don't pass out.
Even Usher, when he at the end when he was like, I brought an ATL to the Super Bowl, you could tell he was gassed.
I thought he was going to pass out. I'm not
They had
going
I'm
to
sure
lie.
they had to give him. I hope they gave him oxygen. Like
When they were jumping on that stage and everybody thought the stage was going to collapse because it was 67 niggas on that shit.
Yeah.
And
hey man.
I really was like, because everybody, I don't know if you guys have ever experienced this, but if you've like ever done like a really like long run or just like an incredibly hard sprint, there's a point in that process where you kind of feel your lips tingling because like your blood flow is just trying to get to your most vital organs. So your extremities, some of the things that are like your fingertips and stuff like that, kind of start to lose feeling a little bit. Like you can feel yourself getting lightheaded when you're exerting a lot of energy. When Usher was performing I saw it happening. I was like, is his lips turning blue? Like you could tell he was tired because of he was performing at such a high level. Like the man brought out skates at one point. Like he was doing a lot. It was intense, but I just thought it was beautiful. I thought it was flawless. We've been talking about it forever, and we're gonna keep talking about. No, we're done. But honestly, 10 out of 10.
Yeah,
10 out of 10.
If you think what he did wasn't that big of a deal, like it was stagnant and stuff like that,
Watch it again.
Go on, get yourself on a treadmill, and call someone, and have a conversation on a moderately speed on a treadmill, and see how quickly you get gas.
Even for people who thought it was mid at first, because I understand, like if you are someone who did not listen to GNX or is not familiar,
or just a regular fan, like a passerby fan of Kendrick.
Yeah, if you are someone who only listens to Kendrick on the radio, right? And so you were probably hoping that you could hear swimming pools or
money trees,
facts, or what is it? He performed Humble, but DNA, right? If you were hoping that he would probably perform Rich Spirit, like any of these really popular songs that we know him for, then sure, I can understand why you would be like, oh, well, it felt kind of mellow, or it felt like the cadence of the show, like kind of had a build up, and then it crescendoed at, obviously They Not Like Us, and then turn the TV off. Sure, I can accept that, but for you to say that it wasn't good or that it was boring, I implore you, just watch it one more time. Just watch it one more time. And if you still don't like it after that, then we are just not aligned in what.
That's fine.
Like when it comes to taste, because I thought it was perfect. I thought it was perfect.
Yeah, I don't have any notes. I'm
no notes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
We've been watching it all week.
That might have been the most words said on the Super Bowl by
I
an artist.
wish I knew exactly how many words he said.
It's crazy.
It had to have reached 1,000.
First record alone, I was just
So many words. Anyway, we can go on and on, but we won't. Let's go ahead and get into. Did you have a You had a game.
One gotta go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's hit it.
All right. One's gotta go.
Okay, let's hear it.
People who don't return shopping carts.
Okay.
People who talk to you in restrooms. People who make meetings to make meetings. And people who drop trash in public. One's gotta go.
Which one of these things absolutely do I need to get rid of? People who make meetings for meetings.
Facts. Agreed.
Susan, Julie, okay, Sarah, Michelle, Kevin, Thomas.
These are a lot of
Stop.
direct names here.
Stop. Send an email. Get on chat or Zoom. Something. But stop calling all of us unprompted, mind you. Whew. These people always do it unprompted. They're the type of people who will send you a meeting invite literally immediately. Like they'll tell you, hey, meeting invite for 2:30. You look down at your computer, it's 2:28.
Yeah, or they'll send you an invite at 3:45 on a Friday. That's always fun.
You are a domestic terrorist. You understand what I'm saying? Like, why are you bothering me? Why are you bothering me? Yeah. What is so urgent about? And it's never that serious.
Well, I mean, I think it's the whole, like, if you're going to call me, that's one thing. But then if you're going to call me and be like, we need to have a meeting with other people, I'm like, well, then just schedule that meeting first. Unless you're trying to give me a heads up about, hey, we need to talk about this just for FYI. So I'm going to schedule this meeting so you're not blindsided. Sure. But that's usually when we're talking about these type of people, that's not what the case is.
That's not what the case is.
The case is, you call me, so we have an issue and we need to talk to this person, this one. Did you talk to them? No, we're going to have a meeting about it. But I'm just telling you. Why you ain't call them then?
Correspond with them.
Why you ain't send an email to all of us so we could all see it? We got teams.
CC me.
DM me or something. Them, us. Put us in a group chat. I don't know. Teams got group chats and team channels. You could, you know what I'm saying?
Stop calling me.
It's crazy.
Stacy. I'm joking. Okay, next one.
Next one. One's gotta go.
Okay.
Being left on red with no reply. Your socks being wet.
Oh. You don't even gotta read no more.
People coming over unannounced. Someone holding the door when you're far away. That's a good one.
These are good.
That's a good set of four right there.
These are good. Okay. The wet socks is...
Wet socks is crazy.
Abysmal. I have so many pairs of socks just for that occasion.
If my socks get wet like that, like I feel like my foot, I only have like 10 seconds before my foot is coming off. That's how much
I can feel the mold growing on my foot.
Yeah,
that's
how
terrified. It feels.
I immediately think I am in Vietnam and I'm going to my foot's going to be a mutant.
Oh my God.
Just my foot, not me, just the foot.
No, there's something about the feeling of moisture on your sock that is unforgivable. It's unforgivable. It ruins my entire day. Like if I feel wetness on my sock, the first thing I'm doing is checking because I'm looking like what, how and why did this happen?
You ever step in a puddle, man, with your shoes on? You just walk into the grocery store, boom, puddle.
Oh my gosh, maybe like once or twice.
It's happened to me, man.
It's awful.
It's terrible.
It's awful. You know what I actually hate the most? It's like, so when either one of us, because I know we're both guilty of it, like leaves water on the floor, like after getting out of the shower, and the other one follows behind, and
Yeah.
like we're walking, and then we inevitably hit one of the pillows
I
that we
got a
left.
fresh pair of Hanes on.
Oh my gosh, fresh pair of socks.
Yeah.
Fresh pair of house socks that I just put on. It's peeling them off, immediately putting it in the wash. Not letting it dry. No, they're dirty now. I don't care that it's just water.
Yeah.
Go away. The worst.
People coming over unannounced is a good one too.
I can't relate to that. If you come to my house unannounced, we are going to have an aggressive conversation.
Yeah.
If you come to my house unannounced, you better have food in hand.
I don't even really like people ringing the doorbell, because what you ringing the doorbell for? Like, I get an attitude every time.
You sure do.
I'm like, who the is at the door?
Your reaction.
I don't like it. I don't know what it is about
your
it.
reaction to people calling you. Your reaction to people using regular items,
Modes of communication, mediums of communication,
for that
coming over
specific
to your house,
purpose.
texting you,
yes,
calling you.
If you call him,
DMing
he
me.
got an attitude. If you ring the doorbell or knock on the door, he got an attitude, especially if he doesn't expect it.
I don't like it.
If you don't text Carrick and tell him you about to call him, and you call him,
Text me and let me know that you're about to text me. Okay.
Shut up. AKA, don't talk to me. Big don't talk to me energy. But yeah, if you ring this doorbell or you knock on the door, and we didn't expect someone to be coming, immediate attitude out of Garrett.
Bro.
He's not giving it to you. Like,
I be wanting to open the door like Will Smith and Martin Lawrence did in Bad Boys 2, child.
Like, literally.
Yeah.
Just swing the door open. Yeah, man. Okay. So I have, to close it out, I've got a member whim.
Okay.
And this is another personal one for me. Okay, so do you remember when you used to enjoy going to the dentist?
Used to.
For people who are like, what do you mean, did I ever enjoy going to the dentist? For some reason, and I truly never understood this, like as a kid, when people were like, oh my God, I hate the dentist. I used to hear that all the time growing up. I could not relate. I never had a fear of going to the dentist. I really enjoyed going to the dentist. Even when I had braces, I enjoyed going to my tightening like visits, even though like they were going to hurt afterwards. I just knew it was like me getting closer and closer to having like the perfect chompers that I have now. Okay. So, I always liked going to the dentist. Child, I had a dentist visit, recently, and they had an aggressive conversation with me.
It wasn't
It wasn't. As a person who has their PhD in catastrophizing, I take criticism very seriously in my personal and professional life.
Fair.
Even if it is like the smallest of criticisms, I try to find commonalities in where that habit shows up in every aspect of my life so that I can like correct it. So my dental hygienist, who has been probably cleaning my teeth for the past at least 6 years, she's a really sweet Jamaican lady. We have her name's Yardley.
Her name is Yardley?
Yardley. Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
I love it. Shout out to Yardley. She's fire. Super sweet. But she's been doing my teeth for a while. And this past time, she was like, after cleaning my teeth, she looked at me square in the face and she was like,
oh, that explains why it was so blunt. It's all
and
coming
she is so sweet. And even again, I will recite to you exactly what she said to me. She was flossing my teeth and she was like, okay, I usually have a problem area like right here in the front of my teeth. Like it's where I get like a lot of tartar buildup like over time. And she was like, you need to floss more. And I was just like, okay. She was like, I've never seen you bleed this much. Like when she was cleaning my teeth, she was like, I've been cleaning your teeth for a while. You are bleeding a lot more. You have to floss more. Like you are experiencing, she's showing me my x-ray. She was like, you are experiencing bone loss already because of the
bone loss or enamel?
Bone loss.
Interesting.
Bone loss. When tartar and like food get stuck in the spaces in between your teeth, right? Bacteria grows and then it sits on your gum. That bacteria gets into your gums and starts to essentially eat away at the bone here. And as you experience more and more bone loss, the likelihood of you losing the tooth in that area increases. The primary indication of bacteria in your mouth is inflammation, right? So when you go to clean those areas, you know, because we go to the dentist, or you're supposed to go to the dentist every 6 months, when they go to clean out that area, the inflammation causes bleeding. And she was like, you are bleeding a lot in these areas. And so in my head, even though she was being direct and stern with me, I heard, bitch, you playing. You really think that you got all day? You only, you know, you gonna lose all of your teeth. They're gonna fall out that pretty little head of yours, and then you're gonna be walking around gumming things to death. If you want to keep playing, just say that, okay? And watch every single last one of these teeth fall out your head, and see what happened. And I was just like, yes, ma'am. Like I felt like I got a D on my report card, 100%. Like.
Yeah.
She put the fear of God in me. I have been flossing every night.
Good.
Since literally in the morning and in the evening.
That's good.
Like I am not playing no more. I do not want to see her in 6 months and have her literally look at me like, you had one job. We asked you to do one thing. That's all you got to do. Everything else is fine. Everything else is fine. We just need you to floss, girl. So child.
Yeah, I mean, it scared you, and you told me, and then I didn't need to be scared, but it scared me just because, you know, teeth is all I have, man. You know what I'm saying?
My God, you irritate me whenever you say that.
I've always loved my teeth or just teeth in general, because my aunt loves going to the dentist, and I just picked it up from her because she always used to say it. And I was like, oh, I want to love to go to the dentist too. And now I love going to the dentist. I used to hate going to the dentist.
Did you really?
Because my dentist was I've tell this story to my mom every so often, and it cracks her up.
I don't think I've heard it.
I used to have a dentist when I was a kid, like 5, 6, 7. Maybe even younger than that. I guess because maybe, I don't know if it was breast milk or whatever like that, but my first set of teeth were not great.
Okay.
I guess too much sugar. I had like a black dot on one of my teeth. I had to get like silver caps, and I had to have a really hard time at the dentist because in order to get those taps in order for them to clean my teeth, they had to numb my mouth. At least that's what this dentist was doing to me. I felt like every time I was going to this dentist, and this is me as a kid, I was getting a needle in my mouth.
Oh, no.
Every time. And I hated it.
Oh my God.
I hated it so much.
Ooh.
So now, I mean, you know, my dentist is great. I had the same dentist for 20 years, basically. But yeah, it scared me, and I don't ever want, again, I think that my teeth is like, I done lost my hair already, so I need to keep, it's the truth. I need to keep my teeth together. So when you came home and was like, yo, I need to floss more, I was like, you know, on occasion, especially on the weekends, we can be all honest here. We're family. On occasions, you may not brush your teeth that night. You might be tired, you're chilling, fall asleep. And then, you know, you had 6 wings, they're barbecue, they stick into your teeth, and then you go to sleep.
And don't let it be a Friday night. I'm going to have a glass of wine with it,
got a glass of wine with it, some other things. Like, you know,
yes.
you
didn't had a dessert.
Yeah, you do that too.
You had some ice cream, and you went to bed.
Ice cream and dairy and sugar.
You played yourself.
Yeah, all that stuff. So I have enamel issues, and so that thing that they do at the dentist, if you go regularly, and they check your teeth where they're counting off numbers and stuff. That's an enamel thing, and I have so much anxiety.
It's a gum.
Is it?
It's a gum thing. Yeah, they're checking how
gum recession.
Your gum recession, right? Yeah. Anything between 0 to 3 millimeters is good. From 4 to 6 millimeters,
you don't want 4s.
You don't want 4s. You're in the danger zone.
Yeah.
Anything above 6 millimeters, you are going to experience. You're going to lose that tooth.
You're going to lose that tooth.
you gonna lose that tooth.
3, 3, 4, 4, 4, 5, 5. Like,
3, 3, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 1, 2.
I'm like, man.
I hear those 3, 3, 3s, 3, 2, 3, 3, 1, 3, 4, 2, 3. I'm like, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 3. Oh no. Like every time I hear that 4, and I heard more 4s this time than I've ever heard.
I don't think I have any 4s. I don't think.
That's great.
I have a lot of 3s though. I have 2s and 3s.
Yeah, 2s and 3s. I don't have any 2s. I don't have any 2s. Everything is 3s, and I have like 4 teeth that are like at 4s.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
She was like, you have more. It's the way they were whispering to each other that I know I was not doing good.
Shit.
Because the girl who's like logging the numbers, she was like,
2-man job.
She's got more 4s. There's more 4s than there were last time. More 4s than there were last time? That's not good. Okay, she starts flossing. She's like, literally, she rolls back halfway through my flossing, rolls back. Do you have a camera? We need to take pictures. I'm like, pictures? Y'all need to take pictures.
Wait, she took x-rays?
Yes, they took x-rays too. Mm-hmm.
Off cycle? Because you get x-rays once every year or something?
Yeah, once a year. But no, it was on cycle. I was due for an x-ray. Yeah. But they wanted to take additional photographs to put with my log. Oh. And I was like, oh nah, they done they whispering and taking pictures now.
Yeah, it's nothing like.
I thought they was gonna tell me I had cancer of the jaw or something.
Yeah, I get anxiety with the numbers thing, and I also get anxieties when they leave and they finish your cleaning, and then the dentist comes in. And he's like, all right, my dentist will come in and say, all right, man, we're gonna take a look and see here. It's all right, and then he gets the stick thing. Mm-hmm. Oh, I am terrified every time beating. Because he's checking for cavities. I have not had a cavity in a very long time. Yeah. Like years.
Yeah, me too.
And so every time and the reason why I don't have cavities is because I got a cavity one time and I was just like
never again.
Yeah, I was like never again.
Yeah.
And so he's like, right, open wide. It's all right, you're good. And I'm like,
listen, my dentist is a little Korean lady. She had a talk with me. She was like, you're gonna have to floss more, and I was like, I'm gonna try. She was like, don't try, just do it. I was like, not the Nike commercial.
Asian and blunt. There you go.
She got right to it. She was like, listen, you got a great set of teeth, but if you don't start flossing, and I was like, well, I brush my teeth literally every morning, every night. The nights are iffy, like 60%. But she was like, and I don't know, it seems simple, but I've never heard it put this way. She was like, for your teeth in the back, you are brushing the tops and the sides. Flossing is like brushing in between your teeth. She was like, you have a lot of pockets in between like your teeth. Like they look straight, but like, say if this is the tooth and this is the tooth, my little pockets here are bigger. She was like, food gets down in there. And if you don't get the floss and literally scrub on either side of your tooth, you're just leaving the food there. And then
it breaks down.
The bacteria, the inflammation, the bone loss, and now we're here. So, yeah, she was not playing with me, child. But, so, y'all gonna see these pearly whites, okay? And y'all gonna keep holding me accountable, okay? Just throw a little tooth emoji in there. But listen, y'all, we appreciate you. We're gonna call it right there, okay? If you're still rocking with us, we appreciate you. Again, make sure you comment, like, subscribe to all the things on Spotify, on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube, obviously. And come back and see us. Come chill with your favorite Mary friends, okay? And again, no matter where you go after this, no matter where the road may take you, no matter what Rolo may say in the background, make sure you go with God, okay? Listen, it's the one thing for certain podcasts, y'all. Peace.
Deuces.